Okay, listen guys, when I asked for 6 likes on the video, I didn't expect you guys to hit it in 35 friggin' minutes. That's actually insane. Thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. I swear guys, this year is my year. Despite all the bad stuff that has happened, this year is 100% my year. I recently had a lot of friends switch over to keyboard and mouse, so I wanted to make a video that would greatly help them out. So as you guys know, I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1:30 p.m. EST. So make sure you guys go to the link in the description and leave me a follow. All that being said, let's get into the video. So as some of my OGs know, my first ever video on the channel was a guide on how to learn keyboard and mouse. It was around the time that I switched to keyboard and mouse, and I wanted to teach people how to learn it like decently quick. I think I've realized that I hate watching my old videos. Also, if you guys decide to watch that video for some reason, just check out how much my voice has changed. A lot of things have changed with me and my journey to keyboard and mouse, and I've learned so much about making the switch and how to improve. This part has been pretty long already, so let's get into the tips. So the most important thing about switching to keyboard and mouse is obviously picking out the keyboard. I wouldn't say the most important, but you know, I kind of brushed off and I kind of like brushed keyboards off, and I said keyboards weren't as important as mice, which is so kind of true, but I'm gonna go a lot more in depth this time. The first video I said the only factor with keyboards was the size and the style. Now when you look at it, you have factors such as size, switch type, the keyboard tilt, the style of the keyboard, how much space you have. Yeah, there's a lot I didn't cover in the last video. A lot has changed with my setup since that video as well. In the last video, I used a Red Dragon K552, which was a TKL, and it was a mechanical keyboard, meaning, by the way, TKL means 10 keyless. It is actually a pretty good budget keyboard. I highly recommend checking it out. It had blue switches, meaning it was pretty darn loud. Looking back now, I didn't research as much as I could have, but I still like it. Now, I use the Rocat Vulcan 121 MEO, which is a full-size keyboard with red switches. It's still a mechanical keyboard, but big difference, huh? I also now use a vertical keyboard, which for those who watch my stream understand what that means. If I could go back and change what I got, I would have gotten a TKL again, or a 60% keyboard. So make sure you do research on what type of switches you want, which there are switch testers out there, by the way. Also, with the types of keyboard, just pick mechanical. Membrane is ass. There's also videos on it as well, so do research on that as well. Also, figure out how much space you actually have on your desk, because if you have a full-size keyboard with a little space, it'll directly affect what mouse you can use. Bring out mices. Let's get to the mouse part of the video. So as I said before, the keyboard directly affects some mice. The less space you have on your desk, the higher sensitivity you need. I'll bring that up later. So with mice, you will need to do a lot more research on keyboards. This is because with mice, you have so many different options. You want a lot of side buttons? Get an MMO mouse. You want a really light mouse? Get a honeycomb design. Yeah, it's already kind of complicated, but let me try and make it as simple as I can. First thing you want, figure out your hand size and your mouse grip style. There's 3 types of grip styles. There's palm grip, finger type grip, and claw grip. Kind of self-explanatory. So, what you want to do is you want to measure your hand, which, you know, just to find out, because if you have a large hand, then you don't want to get a mouse that's too small for your hand, and vice versa. So once you do that, you can go to Rocket Jump Ninja's website and enter all of the information in that you just got, and it will recommend mices that are the best for you. Which you can't fill out all of it yet. So now that you kind of have the first part filled out, now you want to figure out the amount of side buttons you want on your mouse. So this starts with, to make the whole thing more confusing, so most gaming quote-unquote mices has about 2 side buttons. Let's say you want to get even more than that. You can get an MMO mouse, which has they can have up to like 12 side buttons. It's also mice like the G502, which has up to 8 side buttons. So you have to discover how many side buttons you want. Now that we have a general idea of what mice you want and how many side buttons you want, I went from a Logitech G502, which was over 100 grams, to a G-Wolves Hottie, which was around 60 grams, I think. Yeah, there's a major difference in weight. So, pretty much, if you have a lighter mouse, it will make it easier to make quicker movements. So, now let's say you have all those factors picked. You have the right amount of side buttons you want. You have your mouse weight that you want. You have your grip style figured out. Now, enter all that into Rocket Jump Ninja's website, linked in the description below, and it will recommend different mice that fit to you, that like fit your wants and needs. This part was really long, but you see why it takes a lot more to pick a mouse and keyboard. Let's get into the next part, which is picking your keybinds. Okay, so I have a video on this as well, which I wouldn't recommend watching because it's terrible. If you want to watch a video on it, watch It's Jaren's keybind video. So here's my advice for keybinds. you know that your ring finger, your middle finger, and your index finger will all be unwasted. My binds are actually kind of weird, which of those who look at my binds know this. So my weapon binds are, I have tab for my pickaxe, 2 for my AR, E for my shotgun, R for my SMG/sniper, 4 for my sniper/heals, and X for my heals. My weapon binds might seem a little weird, but it's what I'm comfortable with, which is the main thing. You want to be comfortable with your binds. So now for my building binds, I have Q for my wall, my side buttons for my floor and ramp, left shift for my pyramid, and T for my trap. Those aren't really the most weird binds for building. So now editing, since most of you guys notice that I no longer edit with E, I switch back to editing with F. I do not use confirm edit on release, but I would recommend trying that out. And if you're on controller, I don't know why you're on this video, but use confirm edit on release, it's better. I use scroll wheel reset as well, which is good if you're on keyboard and mouse. So for picking my items up, I use scroll wheel as well, you know. What I recommend is test out a lot of binds and see what feels the most comfortable with you. Also remember, just because I use certain binds doesn't mean they're the best. Again, I recommend watching It's Jaren's video on how to find the most optimal binds. Let me know if you guys want me to make a video on finding the best keybinds for Fortnite. Let's get into the next part. Okay, finding a sensitivity. So finding a sensitivity is annoying, and let me be the first to tell you, mainly because of the fact that it has a lot of factors that you need to look at, such as DPI, the eDPI, the polling rate, the weight, the mousepad space, you know, all this. You see how everything ties in with each other. So the reason that I use a vertical keyboard is so that I can have more mousepad space. Despite the fact that I use a higher sense, I want to try out a lower sense in the future. Maybe there will be a video on this sooner or later. So if you have a lower sense, you'll have more mousepad space. Meaning, if you have a really small mousepad, go for a higher sensitivity. There are also factors for how fast your sensitivity is, such as like DPI and eDPI. My sensitivity is 8.8 X and Y in game, and I use 800 DPI with 1000 Hz polling rate. I don't really know what polling rate means, but you know, that's my sensitivity. Pretty much test out a bunch of sensitivities, find out which works best for you. Next tip. So you want to start practicing your binds. Haha. Learn the movement. It's not the same movement as controller. With controller you have 360-degree movement, whereas on keyboard and mouse you don't. So although you can use double movement binds like I do to get, you know, 360-degree movement, I'll use V and B for my double movement, so just navigate around the map in battle labs to try and learn it. The one thing that I recommend practicing is during 90s. Building will improve once you start focusing on that. The best way to learn 90s is to do one at a time until you master that. So just do one and you put a ramp 1, you know. Then move to 290s until you master that. Then move on to the 390s until you master that. You become the best player sooner or later. There's not much that I can specifically say. Do edit maps, I'll leave the one I do in the description below. Let's go on the aim training. If you're actually on PC, you're lucky because you can get stuff like Kovacs, Aim Trainer, or Aim Beast. If you're not on PC, then I'll leave the code for a very good creative map, aim map, in the description. This will take the longest time to get good at because you have to learn your sense, which will take a while. Let's get to the next part. I would tell you guys to play Zone Wars, but we want actual practice. 1v1 your friends or just play solos. If you want to join my Discord server, I'm sure you can find someone to 1v1 there, or you could just 1v1 me if I'm free. If you don't want to play solos, then just play some Zone Wars, I guess. What I recommend is before you go to bed, review what you learned that day and maybe even practice some building or aiming or editing. This video feels like my longest video in forever. It might be my first over 10 minutes in a minute. I want to thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like on the video. As you guys know, 7 likes on the video, and I would deadass drop another one tomorrow. Twitch, plug time base. I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1:30 p.m. ST, so make sure you guys go to the link in the description below and leave me a follow. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as it greatly helps me out. If you guys leave a comment on the video, then I'll be responding to every single comment left on the video. With all that being said, I love you all. Peace out.